So the market's been stuck in neutral for the last several years, and that's all about to change. With some of the latest data that's come out, I'm going to share with you today what analysts are now saying about 2026 and how you and your family can get ahead of it. So if we look at what's been happening over the last several years, we all know the history, right? So whether it was COVID or a variety of things, there was a real tightening of the real estate market, and we saw demand jump significantly higher than supply. Part of that was because rates were in the threes and in some cases in the twos. And we really saw prices drive up. Like literally everything was flying off the market. Homes were getting sold just right away, and home prices were driven up. So there was a FOMO. There's this fear of missing out, that if you didn't buy something and buy something quickly, then you were going to miss out. Well, that drove home prices up. Well, then the Fed raised rates dramatically overnight, and we saw the market stagnate. So that's really what's been happening over the last several years. Well, now we're starting to see that shift a little bit, and it's going to make a change here in 2026. So let's talk about that and what that means for you. So first is that home sales are expected to rise. So we look at this year, what we've seen is that the number of listings has increased. The number of sales here, you can see that 25 is roughly the same. I mean, it's basically flat with 2024. These are a couple of the slowest sales years in real estate in the last 30 or 40 years. So 25 is roughly flat with 24. Inventory has gone up dramatically, and so what we're expecting, and that's Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, and the National Association of Realtors, is what we're expecting is what's that? Roughly 10%, not quite 10% increase in 2026 over last year. So we're expecting more homes to sell. That's going to be some of the inventory that's already in the market is going to burn off, going to sell off, and we'll see an increase this next year. So one of the big drivers for that is mortgage rates. So you can see here in the history, going back to the beginning of 24, we were up in the sevens. In 24, and even at points this year, we were in the sevens. And so that's been the big bottleneck. If you owned a home in the three range, even the two range, well, it was really hard to get all the way up into the sevens and to be able to buy a home, even a smaller home, and be able to afford that. Well, what's happening is now here we are in Q3 of 25, and rates are now earlier today they were at like 6.25. So we're expecting several Fed rate adjustments later this year. Now the rates don't directly correlate with the Fed, but they are impacted by the Fed's moves, and we do expect rates to come down from where they are now into the low sixes and maybe even high fives next year. I think just about everybody predicts that if rates get into the low sixes or high fives, we're going to see a pretty significant increase in real estate demand. Why is that? Well, people have been slow to buy homes since mid 2022. Really, since the spigot turned off in June, July of 22, demand has been steadily declining. Well, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, roughly 10% of people move every year. So that's 10% of people would have moved in 23. 10% of people would have moved in 24, and we're coming up on 10% of people would have moved in 25, and dramatically less than that actually did. Not to mention that house formation, right? We're not building enough homes to keep up with the demand for new homes, and there's a significant amount of pent up opportunity that's coming for next year. Last thing that I wanted to share with you is okay. So if demand is increasing, what do we expect to happen to home prices? And again, these are studies that National Association of Realtors, Wells Fargo data, Fannie Mae. I honestly don't know what HPES is. So, but the average of all of those is 2%. So generally, the industry is expecting home prices to go up somewhere between roughly 0 and 4% next year, averaging out at 2%. So all that to say that competition for homes is going to increase next year. It looks like home prices are going to go up a little bit next year, not dramatically. If you're thinking about buying a home, if you're thinking about selling your home, then let's start that conversation. Let's go ahead and get you prepared so you know exactly what you're looking for when it pops up. So you've got your finances in order to move when the time's right. If the time's now, great. If the time is sometime next year, then we'll help you plan all that out. So you can hit the link there to schedule time with us, or just reply to the email, and I would love to talk to you. You guys know I'm Brian White with BlueFuse Group. We say that we are relationship focused and results driven. We help people make smart moves, build wealth through real estate, and protect what matters most. Thanks for watching today, and I'll talk to you soon.